see what this one's like. Even when intentions are good, how do we protect ourselves? Especially if we do BDSM, given what happened to Justin. Interesting.
What
Maybe it's
happened?
probably better saving this for particular people. Drop it in.
What
I don't
happened?
know. Let me think.
What happened to Justin?
Oh, just you don't know what happened to Justin? Okay.
Not exactly like.
Cole, do you know who Justin Marc is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recently there was like Canadian news and whatever, like
Uh-huh.
little, not massive, just like little things on the internet saying like he got arrested, charged with sexual assault, which, innocent until proven guilty is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. So there has to be a court date. It seems like a lot of people have this suspicion of it because Um, first of all, the people involved with the accusations have this strange kind of political background where they've been targeting certain things in Toronto and people. And it,
Mm-hmm.
it just has some suspicious thing around it. But what I'll say about it is, if Deepak is on the news tomorrow accused of something, I'm not going to sit here and be like, wow, Deepak's a bad person. I'm going to sit here and be like, innocent until proven guilty. So it doesn't matter who it happens to, in my perspective. I have seen a lot of guys in the chat. I even had like a random Instagram reel where one guy was giving some advice about how to avoid false accusations. And man, that got hundreds of thousands of views. And there were so many comments from guys who were saying, this happened to me. Like I got a false accusation. And here's an even better one. There were women on there who was saying their sons got false accusations as well. So it's scary how much this actually happens. Like Justin's got money. Justin will be okay, I'm pretty sure. But imagine just like the normal fucking guy that this happens to who gets an accusation that, let's say, is false. That could be really fucking damaging. And I remember some comments on there that were really highlighting like how much it damaged them to actually get a false accusation and were later found innocent after years. And then what happens to the women who gave those false accusations in the first place? Nothing. So I think it's a very strange thing, but
So it's a one.
it's a
So it's a one case only.
spiky
It's a one or like many, or it's just one
one.
incident.
It seems
Okay.
like just one, but it's a slippery thing because on one side, like any accusation should be taken seriously, but at the same time, there are so many false accusations that happen in society. It's just like you got to be really fucking careful what you say because this kind of thing wrecks lives. And if a man or woman is accused of something that is not true, then that can really damage their life. They could lose business, they could lose friends, family. They could harm themselves. So it's a massive disservice for
Mm.
a woman or a man to make any kind of false accusation because on the other side, someone somewhere is making a true accusation, and then they're just going to be treated with the same suspicion potentially that false accusers would have. So it's
Mm.
horrible how it is, but personally, Justin was here a year ago. I went to hang out with him. I went to a party with him. Justin doesn't go around sexually harassing people. It's not in his nature. It's not his behavior. He was sitting down on his phone, being chill the entire, like most of the fucking time. When he wasn't, he was like filming everything. And if there's something wrong with Justin, he probably would have filmed it. So like,
Yeah.
let's just I don't know what else is on top of that, but
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
mean, in terms of the question, obviously, I'm not going to sit up here and say there's a foolproof way to avoid this because it's happening. It's happening a lot, like you said. But I do think there's things we can do to be to be wiser about it, especially in our selection process, right? You talk about the vetting process. For me, the vetting process isn't only for a relationship, it's even for someone I'm going to have something short term with, right? It's like, I don't want to wind up in a situation I regret. I don't want to wind up in a situation, even take away the legal consequences. I don't want to wind up in a uncomfortable situation where both of us are not on the same page and, you know, there's some emotions that she may be having. I want it to be good. I want it to flow. I want us to have a good time, right? That's what it's about. So, you know, constantly check in with the person. Is this someone you want to be doing this with? If you are doing it with them, is this somebody who, you know, you're communicating with, you're understanding their yes and their no? One of my personal things, which I do in my personal work, and Ice and I have talked about this, is I work a lot with energy, masculine and feminine energies, the dance back and forth. And, you know, you can tell when a woman is about it. And even if her words are saying yes and her body's not. So, how can we build our own abilities to really understand a woman's body, to understand her yes and her no? And I know that's not foolproof, right? She goes on Wednesday, she talks to her friends, comes up with a story. We've heard that before. But I'm an accountability guy, and I think there's always something we can do to put ourselves in the right situation. If something feels off, listen to that instinct and walk away from it. That's how I look at it. You know, it's you can sense when something's going in the right direction and she's about it, and when she's just doing it because you guys are there in that position. So I think a lot of men just kind of are in their own heads and they're like, oh, I want to do this to her, I want to do that with her, and not really thinking about, is she vibing, are we vibing, is she feeling it? So I think there's more we can do without saying that there's a foolproof answer.
For sure, it's a scary thing.